guys, welcome to our second session for week 1. Today we are going to go over creating an ERD MySQL workbench the easy way. It's going to be the easiest way to workbench. Just say hi guys, I hope everyone's doing well, and if you haven't had an opportunity to watch yesterday's lecture, then you need to get that watched because it's going to give you the key to this week's assignment. All right, guys, well, let's get started with going over Workbench and getting through that assessment and making everything easy this week so that everybody gets everything done and turned on time. Don't forget, if for some reason you're going to miss that deadline, you need to email me before the deadline and let me know that you're going to miss the deadline and when you're going to have the assessment or assignment to me, and be specific. I want a date and a time. Okay, let's hop over to our PowerPoint. The first thing I want to do is go over our agenda for today. Our next lecture will be next Monday at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, 3 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Today's topic, we're going to go through remembering what you learned yesterday. We're going to kind of do a refresher on that just to make sure it's there, everybody's got a grasp, and if you have any questions, this is the perfect opportunity to ask those questions. We're going to talk about what an ERD is, and then we are going to go through a demo on creating an ERD in MySQL Workbench. It's very easy and much easier than using Illustrator or Photoshop to try and draw out the ERD yourself. And then we're going to talk about reflection, what you learned today. So remembering what we learned yesterday, can anybody tell me what SQL stands for? What's the first thing we went over yesterday? Yeah, there you go. It stands for Structured Query Language. What comes after the select keyword in the select statement? What do you put after that keyword? Yeah, that's it right there. You put the column name after the select statement. What comes after the from keyword? Yes, the table name. You're just on a winning streak today, aren't you? Nice job. If you need to filter your data based on condition, what clause do you use? So if you need to filter that data so that it just shows that specific criteria. Yesterday we were using the rep cells database example. So if you needed to filter that data to show just the rep that has a 6% rate, then how would you do that? Yes, this is the part where you use the and or the or the not, but what comes before using that and or the or and the not? What signifies to SQL that you need to filter data based on a certain condition? Yes, the where clause, that's right. So if you need to filter your data based on multiple conditions, then what operators do you use? Yes, this is where the and, the or the not come in. Absolutely fantastic, guys. I'm glad that you're remembering all of this. Okay, let's talk about what an ERD is and how you use it. ERD stands for Entity Relationship Diagram. And basically, an ERD is the visual, the design, the blueprint, if you will, of the database structure and the relationship between the tables contained within that database. It's just a visual representation, something that you can look at really quick and see what's inside that database. You have these tables and these columns. The ERD will help you build your queries. It will help you quickly find table and column names. It's really good to have when you're trying to troubleshoot a non-working query. When you've done your SQL command and it's not pulling up the right information, or it's not pulling up anything at all, looking back at that ERD will help you figure out those non-working queries and where you went wrong or what you need to add in order to get the information out of the database that you need. And it will quickly tell you the relationship between each table. And that is normally where you will find that that's why that query is not working, because these two tables aren't connected. So you have to go back, make that connection, and then rerun the query, and it works. An entity relationship diagram, or ERD, is otherwise known as an ER diagram, an ER model. Kind of depends on who you talk to in the industry. It's called all of those things. Some people say entity relationship diagram. Some people refer to it as an ERD. Others will call it an ER diagram or an ER model. It just kind of depends on who you talk to and how they've basically, what term stuck in their minds when they were learning about the ERDs. For me, it's an ERD, an entity relationship diagram. The ERD uses symbols and connection lines, as you can see in this example here, to show the entities and the relationship between those entities. Entities, of course, are the tables within the database. The ERD will also show the relationship between the tables within the database with those connecting lines. Now, the example we're looking at here is very rudimentary. It's just using a simple arrow. Some ERDs are like that. Others are a little more complex. But each entity or table will also show the attributes or columns within that table. And that's where you see these little squares. We have a student table and we have a degree table. And inside the student table, you have the columns for student ID, their first name, last name, address, phone number, and their degree ID. And in the degree table, you have the degree ID, the description, the department, and the number of credits for each of those degrees. And that arrow you see that connects the two tables is a one-to-many relationship. That's what it's showing there. Because one degree supports many students. Because a lot of students can be enrolled in the same degree program. Just like your web design students, a lot of people underneath that heading. So we have to have a one-to-many. One student can't be enrolled in multiple programs because that's just not the way it works. But multiple students can be enrolled in the same program. So you get a one-to-many instead of a many-to-many. So you want to show your fields, your tables, your column names, your key types, and your attributes. So in this example here, you would have your table name, and then you would have your key type, whether it's a primary key or a foreign key. And then you list your attributes, which are the column names. And then beside that, you would show the type of field, whether it's characters, decimals, numbers, whether it's hashed or it's a date format, that sort of thing. You would show the type of information that's held within each column. Fields contain the attributes of the entity of the table and the column names in which it holds. The field boxes also hold vital information about the attributes, such as the key types. Key types are an easy way to organize the attributes, and they build the relationship between tables. Always remember that. Your keys are what establish the relationship between each table. And doing it this way will help you keep things organized and give you very, very quick reference. When I'm doing a database, I always list the keys, the attributes, and the field types. That way, when I'm developing my queries, I know whether or not I need to put quotations around that, or I can leave it without quotations because it's a number or it's a decimal or it's a date. Or I remember that if this certain column is hashed, like if I'm saving using your passwords into the database, then I need to remember when I'm setting up that column, depending on whether I'm using SHA-2 or some other type of encryption, I need to make sure that that column can hold the right number of characters. For instance, hash SHA-256 or SHA-2, however you want to refer to it, you have to be able to hold 256 characters. So if you set that column up and it only holds 40 characters, guess what? It doesn't work. You're not going to be able to save a single user password, and they're all going to get an error that says the program doesn't work. You can't sign up. Sorry. And they're going to be very disappointed, and your client or customer is going to be very disappointed with you. But it's easy to forget those things. That's why I always list them on my ERDs. That way, when I'm building that database and actually coding it, everything I need is right there to remind me what I need to do. And I can just kind of check it off as I go, make sure I have everything right. It causes a lot less altering of the table once you finish because you forgot to set this as a character, or you forgot to set this as a number or a decimal or a date, and you have to go back in and alter the table to make it correct. It cuts down on a lot of that, which means you save time. And of course, in our business, time is money. And that's what it comes down to. Time is money. And so you want to get things done as quickly as you can, because the quicker you get them done, the more money you make. Unless, of course, you're charging by the hour. Most of the time, though, it's a flat rate, especially to build a database. So you give them a price, they tell you how many tables they're going to need, or they send you a sample of the data that they're going to need into the database, and you figure out the tables and you give them a price. And they send you everything and you build the database. Usually it's a flat fee. So now let's talk about those symbols. The first example we looked at, like I said, was very rudimentary. It simply used arrows to show relationships. And when you're doing a small table, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but getting into the habit of actually using the appropriate symbols to show relationships. One relationship is that first symbol right there, and then you've got the mini relationship, and one and only one, the 0 or 1 relationship, the one or many relationship, or 0 or many relationships. The entity relationship diagram should show the cardinality or ordinality of the relationship. What that means is the cardinality is the maximum number of times a table can relate to another table. So can it relate to that table 1 time, 0 times, or many times? Ordinality is just the opposite. Ordinality shows the minimum number of times a table can relate to another. Showing cardinality and ordinality are done by using styling of the lines like you see in this example here. So if I wanted a one-to-many relationship, like let's say we're going back to our student database. Let's say we had a table, we had a database, and the tables inside that database were student, degree, class. Well, the student to degree we know is one to many. So the student table would have this symbol and then a line drawn up to the degree table that had the many symbol on it. And then from the degree table to the class table, well, you can have multiple classes in one degree, right? That's the way it works. Not just one class to get your degree, you have multiple classes. And those classes can be in several different degrees. Think about just your regular gen ed classes, your general education classes, your math and your English and your history. Those classes are in all of the degrees because they're the general ed classes. So Now we know the degree table connects to the student table, but it's also going to have to connect to the class table. And many degrees can be for the same class. So we would be doing a what? What kind of relationship would we be having? The degree table is going to connect to two different tables. So it's, yes, many. And the degree, the class table can have several degrees for the same class. So we would be looking at many there too. Yes, so we would have a many to many. So now let's talk about our assessment. Using the MySQL workbench. First, I want to go through what our assessment actually tells you to do. You are going to be creating an entity relationship diagram. Now then, there is a template that you can download for the assessment, and it uses PowerPoint. It's a PowerPoint sheet where you have to draw out the arrows and you have to list the table names that are in question marks, the ones that are missing, for your Movie Star database. And you have to open the memo from it's called the background document from the Regal Theater Company. And that memo tells you that for each movie, Regal Theaters requires that the database keep track of the following things: an ID that uniquely identifies each movie, title of the movie, the genre of the movie, the MPAA rating of the movie, the release date of the movie, the length of the movie in minutes, and for each director, the Regal Theater requires that an ID uniquely identify each director. There's a first name for the director, a last name for the director, and for each star, Regal Theaters requires that the database keep track of an ID that uniquely identifies each star, the first name of the star, the last name of the star, and then you have to figure your table relationship. There is a one-to-many relationship between the director table and the movie table. In other words, one director can direct many movies. There's a many-to-many relationship between the movie table and the star table. In other words, one movie has many stars, and one star can appear in many movies. To accomplish this many-to-many relationship, your ER design includes a join table titled Movie Star, which joins the movie table to the star table. So you have to take all of that information and make your ERD. There's a one-to-many relationship between the director table and the movie table. In other words, one director can direct many movies. There's that many-to-many relationship between the movies and the stars because more than one star can be in each movie and one star can be in more than one movie. And you use that join table to create another table. That join table would be called star table. That is your join table, and that's where you're going to join the movies and the stars, since there can be multiple. Now I want to talk about doing this using MySQL Workbench. You are welcome to use the PowerPoint if that's what you would like to do, but I'm going to show you a very quick way to do it in MySQL Workbench, and it is the method you will be using as a professional. So I would very much appreciate it. And want you guys to get the experience. You need to be able to do this once you graduate and do it in Microsoft, in MySQL, so that you have that experience. So we are going to use this template we have here. I'm going to share my entire desktop here so that we can see everything we need to see. And I'm going to open up my SQL Workbench. PowerPoint over a little bit. Go. And we have my SQL Workbench. Okay, got it open. And we're going to be doing, I'm going to click on our local instance. Come on. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and close this tab out. It's the one we were working in yesterday. And I'm going to have to create a new database again. So let's see. It told us this is the Regal Theaters database. So we're going to go Regal Theaters. And I'm going to hit apply. Finish. And there's my database over on the left. I'm going to double click it so it turns black, so it's bold. So I make sure we're working in that database. And I'm going to close it. I'm going to go to the tables here. See, there's not, we don't have any tables yet. Well, you can write the SQL, or you can go up to the top here and this little icon, right? This little icon right here is the new table icon. And so I'm going to click on the new table icon. And sorry guys, my Zoom box is in the way. There we go. Now it's out of the way. And we have our new table box. And so it says, okay, what do you want to call your table? Well, if we look at our PowerPoint, we know we need a table called movie. So I'm going to call it movie. And we've got our table name. And we need to add a column name. So right here where it says column name, click right inside of it. And we know we need an ID for the movie. So I'm going to say movie ID. And now we know that it's a movie ID. The standard is to make it 10 digits because you could have lots and lots of movies in that database. So I'm going to say that we're going to do a number. So I'm going to do an integer. And if you click that drop down, you can see all that. Now I have it set as bar over here because let's think about a movie ID. Would we want to give it just a number, or maybe take the first 3 letters of the movie and then add a number on the end? Things like that to get the ID. It would depend on your customer. They didn't give us that information in the actual memo they sent. So I'm just going to do a bar, and in between those little parentheses there, I'm going to tell it how many numbers I want to allow there. I'm going to allow 10. And it's going to be the primary key. Remember yesterday we discussed that anytime a column or the customer tells you I need a column that has a customer number or customer ID or anything that has the word ID or number in it, it's going to be unique. And that means it's a primary key. And so I want to make sure that primary key is checked. And I also want to make sure that that column can never be empty. So I'm going to check mark the not null. So there's my first column. So in that movie database, I also have to have a column named title. So there's my title, and it needs to have 50 characters. Characters 50. Var character is character number. Characters, I'm going to say 50 characters. And I want to make sure it's not empty too. It's the title of the movie. It needs to always be there. So then, my movie ID, my title, we have the genre, and it's going to be characters 2. How many do you think would be a good number to make sure they could get the entire genre in there? We have what? Romance, science fiction, sci-fi, drama, horror, all of those kind of things. So what would be, and this is going to be a character as well. Yeah, I'm going to do about 15, and that should cover it and make sure there's plenty there. And not null. I want to make sure that information's in the database, that when they insert this information, they're required to fill out those fields, or they're going to get an error saying, nope, you need to give me this information. So then we have the MPAA rating. And that's going to be a var character because it's characters and numbers. So let's think about this. If you don't know the answer, guys, and sometimes this is going to happen, the customer is going to send you a label saying, okay, it needs to have this rating. I did a database for a steel company, and they had the ratings for steel, the gauges. I had to look those up. I had no idea what they were. I had to Google them and find them. And you can do the same thing like this. So, as you can see, my Firefox decided it needed an update. So it's going to take a minute to open here. So if someone has their web browser pulled up, do Google, oh, here it goes, and Google MPAA ratings. So let's see, MPAA ratings. Let's take a look at these ratings and see what all of them are. Let's see if Wikipedia gives us a list. There they are. So GPG, PG-13R, NC-17. How many characters should a person be able to insert? Yep, that's it, 5. Because 5 is the maximum number of ratings. So we're going to set it at 5. And not null. We want to make sure all of our movies have a rating. So then we need the release date. Yes, that's going to be the date format. So we're just going to do date and not null. And the length of the movie in minutes. I'm going to do length. We'll just call it length. Yeah, we'll just call it length. And that's going to be 3. Not null. Actually, this is all just a number. This is going to be just a number, not a mix. So it's going to be an entity. and not null again. So that does it for that table. So down here at the bottom, I can say apply. Apply changes to object, server configuration, yes. And look there, it does the code for you. Create table, Regal Theaters, movie ID, not null, title, primary key, assigns it to the movie ID. We're good, so I can hit apply and finish, and we've created our first table, which is movie. So now I need to create another table. So I can easily just click the new table icon, open up a new tab, and our next table is the director table. And our columns are the director ID, and we're going to do this as an integer too. Directors will have a number, and it's going to be primary key, not null. And then, of course, the director's first name. And this could definitely just be characters. And first name, I'll say 15, just in case we get some foreign names going on there that are very long. And then last name, I'm going to do 20. And I want to make sure none of these are empty, so not null. First name, last name, that's it. So this can disappear. Delete. So we just need the ID, first and last name. But we need to remember that this table has a one-to-many with the movie table. So we need to set up a foreign key here. You notice down here at the very bottom, we have a tab that says foreign key. You're going to click on it, and you can add your foreign key here. So we need to add the movie ID to make that many-to-many. So I'm going to say movie, let's see. Foreign key name is going to be movie underscore ID. And I usually start my foreign key tables with the foreign key designation. So I would do an FR underscore movie ID. And reference table, you can see it lists them over here of your table, but we want to look at the reference table of the movie database. And that would be, come on, give it to me. We actually may have to go back to the movie table and add the foreign key here. Let's see if it'll let me do it here. Access foreign key. Nope, we've got that. We want to point this though. Maybe, oops. Maybe ID. Reference table is the theater. Come on, where's my cursor? Well, let me Oops. Well, let me just set it manually. Let's see. Qualified table's name would be movie. Come on. Movie. But we don't have a calling for it yet. That's what I did. That's what I forgot to do. We need to add a column here. FR underscore movie underscore ID. Not null. And our foreign key is right there, and it's going to go into this column. And there it is. There's the movie ID. So now, foreign key options on update. No, we don't want to set no action is good. So columns, and you see it turns it red because now it's a foreign key. So I'm going to say apply. And there's our script. And it set our foreign key. It set our primary key. And it set up an index between the movie ID and the foreign ID so that it updates them and keeps them right. And it set that constraint saying it can only be the movie ID there. And you're going to keep those attributes. So we're going to say apply, and we're going to say finish. And there we go. Oh, everything looks good. So now I need, and then you would need your other table, which is your star table. And this is going to be a many-to-many with the table, the movie table, and you're going to create a join table called movie stars. So we're going to create the star table first. And we're going to go star underscore ID. Oops. And of course, primary key and not null. And then we're going to do first name, characters, team, not null. Last name, characters, 20, not null. And then this is going to have a many relationship with the movie table. And it's going to create, which means we have to create a join table. So this is our table for that. So I'm going to do apply, do OK, and apply again, and finish. And then one more new table. And this is the movie underscore star table. And an ID that uniquely, okay, in this table was a many relationship. So many stars can star in many movies, and many stars star in the same movie. So I really just need to link. So I'm going to do an FR, the ID. So I need to go FR. We need the star ID. Not null. And we also need the movie ID. FR underscore, oops, underscore movie underscore ID. And we set that in the movie table of 10. Let's go back to our movie tab and look, just to make sure, yeah, 10. So we need to make sure it matches, otherwise we're going to get an error. So I'm going to go 10, not null. And then we're going to click on our foreign keys here. And we're going to say foreign key name FR underscore star underscore ID. And this one is going to come from the star table. Reference star ID. And FR underscore movie underscore ID is going to come from the movie table. It's going to be the movie ID there. This one star, this one movie. Yep. Everything's looking good. We're going to go apply, create table, the primary keys, index. Yep, we're good. Apply. Error. Woo, there was an error when applying your SQL script in the data place. Operation fails. There was an error applying the SQL script database. All parts of a primary key must be not null. If you need null in a key, use unique instead. Let's go back. Let's see where. Oh, this one's not null. Oops. So I'm just going to type that in here. Not null. I forgot to put that check mark. Not null. And we still got it. What happened here? Error. All parts of a primary key must be not null. Let's do cancel. Let's go back up here and go to our columns. Not null. Oh, I have that as the primary key. We might need to well, we could use the star ID. Or we could use the movie ID. We would have to use the movie ID as the primary key. Why? Because many stars can be in many movies. So we want to do it like that. And use the movie as the primary key. Let's go apply. Apply. And that did it. So now, the part where it gets really easy. I'm going to close out all these tabs. And I'm going to check my table, make sure they're all there. Director, movie, movie star, star. Yeah, we're good. So I'm simply going to go to database. And I'm going to say reverse engineer. And it's going to say local instance. It's going to go through some stuff back in the background there. Local host, yeah, that's all fine. You can use the default settings. And hit next again. And then it's going to say this is where you have to choose which schema you want to use. And I want to put a check mark. I'm going to uncheck my DBA and put a check mark next to Regal Theaters. Next. Next. Execute. Next. Finish. And we have our ERG. So I'm going to pull these up here. Did we get all of our tables? Regal Theater tables. We're missing our director table. Let's come out here. Oh, the director is already here? No, it's not. Oh, maybe we just can't see it. There it is, way down there. Okay, let's drag this back up here. Now, I want to show all my lines, and it didn't give them to me. And our ID. Oops. Bigger. Okay, our star. We should have a foreign key here that's not showing up. You guys notice this? My foreign key is here. It's not It's showing it, but it's not showing it. So I'm going to go back to my SQL model here. Regal Theaters. Relationship notations. Crow's Creek Classic, you can choose those, but as you see here, we are not getting our relationship. So I'm going to go back to the director table. And first I'm going to hit and no foreign keys on that one. The movie table has a foreign key though, because it's one to many. And our index, our primary key, but our movie table should connect to our director table. And it didn't take that column that we built. So I'm going to have to add this column down here again. Let's try this. FR underscore director underscore ID. Oops, ID. And our director ID is a number. No. How did we get Latin default one? Come on, give me, I need a foreign key here. Why won't you allow me to sign a foreign key? Default expression, into it, primary key. Now, will you let me make it? Oh, I didn't realize that my table engine was not correct. I'm gonna have to finish this. Okay, now we should be able to go back to columns. IMDb, that's this. Foreign key, there it is. Okay, FR. And this is the movie, and we need to connect to the director. So director underscore ID. Director and no, not the movie ID. The director ID, and it should be director ID. Apply. Alter table. Uh-oh. Operation failed. There was an error in your SQL script database. Cannot add foreign key constraints. SQL statement, why not? Cancel. Director, we're in the movie table. That's right. Director not null. Oh, you know what? Our director ID. Let's find out what that actually is. Intuit 11. Oh, I did it right. Intuit 11. Error. There was an error while playing SQL script to the database. Operation failed. There was an error. Blah, 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 blah. Executing. Blah, blah, blah. Error. There it is. Duplicate key. FR director ID. IDX. SQL statement, alter table, Regal Theaters. Okay, we have a duplicate name. So I'm going to just call it director ID. Let's see if it'll take it that way. Oh, we're still getting duplicate key FRID index. Okay, so where else is that at? Columns. There. I want to drop that row. Come on, I just want to get rid of that one, and it's not going to let me just get rid of it. So I'm going to have to open an SQL and say drop FR director ID. Oops, from the table. Drop table. Which table are we on here? Maybe. Oops. I forgot my brackets, it looks like. From table, and that needs brackets around it too. Now let's see. Nope, it still tells me I have. Let's don't save. Close that too, don't save. I want to open up the movie table again. There we go. Director and delete. Apply. Oh, I forgot my column. Drop column. Okay. Apply. Finish. This is why I like my SQL workbench. Okay, so that's gone. And I'm going to go back up to my Regal Theaters here. That's all fine and dandy. My columns. Okay, so that's gone. We're in view mode. So now I should be able to foreign key name FR, oops, FR underscore director underscore ID, and the director table. FR underscore director ID. Find table. There we go. This one. And it's going to FR director, and it's going to be the director ID. Selected columns do not have compatible types. Oops, they sure don't. To it. $11. And now let's apply. apply. Cannot add foreign key constraints. There was an error while applying SQL script database. Cannot add foreign key constraints. Why not? Foreign key, add constraints, foreign director ID, foreign key, FR director ID, reference Regal Theaters director, FR movie ID. Huh? Back. Alter table, Regal Theaters movie. Let's see, add column, FRID, link, add index. That's fine. Alter table, add constraint. Actually, cancel. This is where we're adding our constraint. I'm going to rename this with a K. Regal Theaters, and we're assigning it to foreign key names, the FK director ID. The Regal Theaters, it's going into the FR director ID, and oh, it's not the movie ID. Huh, there's the problem. It's not the movie ID, the director ID. Apply. Apply. Duplicate column name. Oh, because it back. Alter table. Nope, we don't need to add a column. That's already done. Alter table, add constraints. Let's see if that was enough. Duplicate column ID director statement. I got rid of that statement. And that says column delete. 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 Okay. Now if I do apply, okay, you see it's gone now. That's just perfect. Did it erase it from over here? Yes. One more time. ID and FK director ID from the reference table is the director table, and the director ID. Source column has a bar 45, column ID is in 211. INT 11. Foreign key. Apply. Apply. Ah! Duplicate column FR director. No, there's not. Maybe we need to do these. Cancel. And separate. I don't know why Workbench is acting so temperamental today. Let's delete selected. Okay, it's gone. Apply. Apply changes. So now FR underscore director ID. And it's into 11, not null, and apply. Apply. It's still telling me I have a duplicate column called that. Okay, Let's do a nice system refresh here because we are not. Don't save. I think Workbench is just confused. So now I'm going to go back into local instance swamp. This really is the quick way, guys. Apparently my computer is just not refreshing. I don't think you guys will have this problem. So let's look at our director table. It's got the FR movie. Let's see, that foreign key is not set. And it needs the movie ID. So we can do FK, oops, FK, movie ID. And we want to reference the movie table. And I'm going to FR, and it's going to be the movie ID. Apply, apply. Yay, finish. Thank you. And then we have our movie table. Foreign index of movie ID, movie table, movie ID. Yes, yay! Okay, let's go down to our next table. I think we just needed to refresh, and that's why that thing was working. My computer obviously is not refreshing my SQL Workbench the way it's supposed to be. I'll have to figure out what's going on there later. But now we need to check our movie star table, and let's see our foreign keys here. We have let's check our columns. We have our FR star, FR movie. Our FR movie ID is set to the movie ID, yes. Come on, there we are, our movie star. We're looking good there, and OTB. And so we've got FK and oops, star ID. And this is going to come from the star table. It's going to go into the FR star, and it's going to be the star ID. And then we have the FK underscore movie underscore ID. Movie table and movie ID. Apply. Apply. Operation failed. There was an error when applying SQL script database error. Could not add foreign key constraints. Why not? Movie ID. Oh. This should be star ID. Okay. Why can't you add them? Indexes. Oh, that's so because uncheck that as the primary key. Now, foreign key indexes. Apply. Apply. Oh. And let's go back to our movie star and let's open it again. I have a feeling they're actually there and I'm just not refreshing again. Okay, that looks good. So let's try this again. Okay, underscore star ID. Reference table star. And okay. movie underscore ID movie movie star star ID. Oops, come on. Star ID. Come on. That's because it can't reference that table. It has to reference the star table. What is going on here? Let's try applying just the first one. Oh, I need to get rid of this one first. Delete selected. Now, apply. Cannot add foreign key constraints. Why can't you? What? I'm going to drop this table. Drop now. And we're going to do a refresh real quick. I have a feeling that last table we did is when whatever glitched in MySQL Workbench glitched. Okay, so now let's try this again. Call movie star and IMDb. That's good. And we are going to have two columns in that. The FR movie ID, not null. And the movie ID, though, is different. We're going to go to our movie database here. Let's open that. Movie ID is var character 10. So this should be var char 10. Not null. And then we have the FR star ID, which is into 11. Into 11, not null. Apply. Apply. Finish. Those are good. Foreign keys. Go. Movie, oops. Movie ID. And that comes from the movie table. And it's going to be the actual movie ID. So fly, finish. That one was successful. FK, oops, FK underscore. No, underscore star ID, which comes from the star table and star ID. Fly. Operation failed. The error while applying the script. Let's go back. Let's see what we've got here. FK star ID. Recopy. star, star, movie star, FK star ID, FR star ID, Regal Theaters dot star, star ID. Why? Let's go here to our start table. Something's not adding up. Not null. Star ID. Yes, it's spelled correctly. Our database is wrong. Apply, fix. Now, back here. Oh, this is our movie table. Nope, movie star table. Back to our movie star table. Now let's try. Why won't you apply? Delete selected. Close this down again. Let's open up. Open. Okay, we've got one. Foreign keys. Okay. Star ID. It's coming from the star table. And it's going into the FR star ID column, and it's going to be the star ID. Wow. Yes. Oh, there it was. There's a glitch in my workbench, guys. You guys should not have this problem. If you do, then you saw me troubleshoot it. Otherwise, this shouldn't take you but like 15 minutes to do. But unfortunately, you know, technology is technology. You guys have had your share problems with everything you've used. It happens. You just kind of have to learn to troubleshoot around it. My issue was it was not upgrading, and I had my engine assigned wrong. So you're going to want to make sure that when you're creating your tables, make sure you set your table. It should default to this. I worked on a table a long time ago that had to be my ISAM, but it should default to this. I just didn't notice it was stuck on that. So just make sure you open all your tables and they all say INNODB, so that you can have your foreign keys and that sort of thing. Once you've got all your tables set, I'm just going to go through here and close these. Come on. And then you can go to database, reverse engineer. Next. And Regal Theaters. Next. Execute. Next. Finish. And there it is. There is your ERD. And as you can see, it does it all for you. It's all there. It tells you what's primary key by the little key icon, what the column name is, what the type is. If it's a foreign key, it has a red diamond, and then it does your many-to-many and one-to-many relationships. And it's all done right there for you. So you can then go to File and click Preview first. And let's see if it will actually show in the print preview. That document does not contain any pages. That's what I was afraid of. So you're going to go to File, go to Page Setup. And you can see this is your artboard right here, and this little square that has little bitty blue squares in it. You are going to want to do 8.5 by 11. and portrait, hit OK. And then you can draw a square, just like an Illustrator, over all your stuff and move it. You just kind of set it up in your artboard and add your text to it, that sort of thing. You select everything there and grab the type tool. It's right there. And you can add your text right here. And this is, our directions tell us. Let's go look at our directions. Maybe. Our directions tell us that you need to label your ERD with your first and last name and all that kind of good stuff. So at the top of this, inside this little text box here, I'm going to do ERD Regal Theaters. Like that. And put it up here at the top. There is your 8.5 by 11 page. So really, this needs to be moved around. I'm going to put this up at the top. Guys, you want to make it look good. Do you see how small this looks? You're going to have to make it bigger. So first, I'm going to take these two. I'm going to pull them over here. And this one I'm going to move down here. Move this one down here. Now, I'm going to make my boxes just a little bit bigger. And make sure you open up your indexes so it shows all that information. And then let's zoom out. And there is your ERD. And you can arrange this the way you want it. Just use your design skills, guys. I mean, it does need to look designed. It needs to look professional because essentially you would be showing this to your team and potentially your customers, explaining your process and that sort of thing. Straight. There we go. And so once you've got your page set up, you've gone to your page setup, changed it to 8.5 by 11. Then you're going to go to File, and you're going to save model as. Oh, no, can't do it from Save As anymore. You're going to have to go File and Export. Export single page PDF. And we'll save it on my desktop. Oops. And our directions tell us to save as PRG 140 GA. Your first and last name. Assessment 1. I'm going to save it. Desktop. PRG, there we are. And there is my ERD diagram, and that's it. Reality, you guys shouldn't have the problem with refreshing. That's something going on with my computer. I'm gonna have to go in and take a look and see what's happening with my refresh rate there, because something is going on there. You guys shouldn't have that problem, so it's going to take you probably 15 to 20 minutes to create your ERD diagram in MySQL. It's so quick, and this is the way you would professionally do it. And that is the reason I'm showing you this way, because I would prefer that you guys use MySQL so that you get the experience with reverse engineering that database and creating tables and columns and things like that. The more practice you get, the better you will be when you actually have to do this professionally. I will see you guys next week. If you have any questions or anything like that, just let me know. You can email me, text message me, give me a call.